Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast with myself, Joshua Call, as the host this week. And over in not so stormy Singapore, I presume, is David Nichols. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's not. It's quite nice today. It's quite nice. Rainy season though, so it is pretty miserable for Singapore at the moment. So.
But for a Brit such as myself, living in Britain, well, it's the first time I think I've ever said it called it Britain. But yeah, it's probably very nice for me because it's quite cold here, quite grim. But
Yeah, it was -1 I saw yesterday in places
what?
of Britain. Yeah, in
Oh, that's got to be the upper echelons of Scotland. That has.
Derby. Derby was -1.
Derby.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So
Blimey, is that hell frozen over? That's their 2007, 2008 Premier League campaign. It was people were remembering when they're looking at Sheffield and it was hell frozen over.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
But if you want to catch up any of our backlog, oh, that sounds a bit naughty, doesn't it? That sounds a bit dirty. Got a backlog you need to adhere. Have a look at our previous YouTube videos. We've covered pretty much 2 and a bit seasons now, so you can go back if you want to relive the 18-19 season. You can go and do that. Or you can check us out on Twitter and SoundCloud and Spotify. But we're talking this week, we're talking news. Not much. We're talking quiz. Good luck, Dave. We're talking Wikifiles. Good luck, Dave. And we're reviewing yesterday's game. So we'll start off with the news. Dave, what do you have for me? Okay, right. Thank you, Dave.
No, there's. I mean, the big bit of news, obviously, the passing of Maradona, which is pretty huge in football, but we don't want to touch on that too much. I mean,
Well, always in cases like this, it always makes me it feels sad that we didn't really experience him because like he won the World Cup the year we were born,
yeah,
and it's always been through highlight videos. You never really get a true reflection of the man or the footballer through YouTube highlight videos. Because imagine it had been like he spent like years out, suspended with drug bans. He
yeah.
won titles with Napoli, a season at Barcelona. That had been the talk of the town. Like he's got one season at Barcelona, and now he's moving on. Napoli was signed Maradona. The
Yeah,
amount of furore had been around it, but we didn't really experience that. You don't really know it. But yeah, from what we can see and what we've seen for years and years and years, and how he's regarded, what a fantastic footballer. And yeah, it's a sad passing,
I
but
think I mentioned it a couple of episodes, well, probably quite a while ago now, a couple of months ago. But when I was watching it on Netflix, the Maradona in Management or whatever it's called, Maradona in Mexico, and he takes over a second division team as manager, and that sort of it came across that he wasn't. He was a strange man, very very passionate about football, and that's just it. He was just very very passionate about football, and I
mm,
think he's one of it's a rarity in it these days where we always comment on it was great to see him playing with a smile on his face. He's just enjoying playing football, and he was definitely one of those, even on the highlights reel and
yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
bit that always gets me about the highlight reels of Maradona is his balance. He was just getting chopped left, right, center, but he rarely ever goes to the ground. He was such a stocky, low center of gravity guy. Just and somewhat similar to Messi. Messi does go to ground, but he didn't rarely does he throw himself to ground. Messi kind of
yeah,
will has that low center of gravity and just goes around players. But Maradona was just constantly on his feet. It was remarkable to see. But yeah, it's a real shame we never got to see him in full flight
yeah,
personally. But
agreed. So, but
yeah,
anyway, yeah,
we have all of the videos, and we have things we can remember him by, and yeah, it's a sad passing.
yeah, it is. So what did you have in the news then?
I suppose from one kind of a legend into the making, Erling Haaland, the fastest player to 15 Champions League goals.
Yeah,
How many games, Dave?
no idea. 10, 20.
12 games. And I got into a few Twitter discussions around this using our account. Sorry if tarnished our name, but because what surprised me was the comparison to the Ronaldo, the phenomenon,
Yeah,
the how many goals Ronaldo got in the Champions League. And so, have you seen these stats?
no, no.
So Ronaldo played 40 Champions League games. And I'll give you a bit of so 34 of those were for Real Madrid, 6 of those were for Inter Milan. How many goals do you reckon Ronaldo scored in those 40 games?
I probably would have said I would have expected him to average maybe 1 in 2. So maybe 20, 19, 20.
14.
You got 14.
14. So Erling Haaland has more Champions League goals than Ronaldo, and there were discussions around, oh yeah, but like unfounded ones like he played for average Barcelona, Inter Milan sides. Like, well, 34 of those games for the Galacticos Real Madrid, you'd have thought he'd done better.
Yeah.
Our injuries, made him miss games. Like it's the goal to game ratio, 14 and 40, not great. We always speak about Ronaldo as as brilliant, but that's maybe we're skewed because of the modern footballer, the goal scoring stats are going on a level, aren't they?
You
The
say that a
the
lot, that
Messi,
it's Messi,
it's
And
kicking
Ronaldo
up again.
skew the
Honestly,
stats.
everybody would have been content. No, I doubt at the time Ronaldo got that much bad press for his goals return record in the Champions League.
No.
But now it's just going blown out of the water. Other people were complaining around, oh, I bet he didn't have a chance to play against such shocking sides as Haaland has. Like he's played against your Spartas,
Yeah.
Prague, your Lokomotiv Moscow's, your Red Star Belgrade. He's played against those. So it just surprised me more than anything.
Yeah, one of R9's best goals in the Champions League, I think, is Inter Milan v PSV, where he sort of dribbles around three people and then puts it in. So he did play against PSV in the 90s weren't good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it just surprised me. It's where that all came from. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Bit of European football in the week, Dave. Man United getting back on track a bit in Europe
Yeah,
after
yeah.
probably effectively the return leg of your Turkey derby, wasn't it?
Yeah, so much better performance. Much better to see the team playing like that. I mean, second half was not as good, but it was good. Yeah, it was good to see us back on track. And obviously, we play PSG next, and they drew with Bordeaux, so they're not in too much good
No,
form.
they're not doing too great. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. In like obviously, Germany seems to be the only place where things are going as expected, with Bayern Munich topping the league, because PSG is struggling.
Dortmund falling foul. Erling Haaland couldn't do much, and Dortmund losing to 17th place. Was it Cologne?
Yeah,
It was.
I
Yeah.
mean, Real Madrid lost again at home, and Eden Hazard picked up another injury, so he's not going to be endearing himself to the fans. And yeah, I feel like it's the whole every league this season is a bit strange, other than Germany. Yeah, because who's top? I
What
think
do you mean?
PSG are top,
Spurs were top of the league last weekend. Why is
yeah,
that strange?
because it's just weird, isn't it?
First time since like 1985 we've topped the league at this stage of the season.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you see all the stats are like first time Spurs top the league since August 2000 and whatever. It's like August. That might mean the first game of the season.
But
Yeah.
it also Spurs is interesting because if you beat Chelsea, it's outright at the top of the table, not joint on points or anything like that. So
Well, I need to change my mindset with Spurs. As I mentioned last week, my wife questions why I enjoy football because I'm always placing counter bets on Spurs to concede, or I can never enjoy. I did not enjoy from the semi-final win all the way through the Champions League run because I was just fearful of losing. And I need to change my mindset. I need to enjoy the good times and the
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you
I
were
need
chatting
to change.
before we went live about your superstitiousness of wearing a Spurs shirt on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely,
So
yeah. I mean, I don't. Do you have any superstitions? So I'll tell you mine. So previously, I've always felt that I can make a difference at home, sat watching the TV, because I would wear a Spurs shirt, and I'm like, well, I'm wearing a Spurs shirt of the season, and we won. And it's like, well, then you make some counter argument as to why it didn't work. Well, I must have put it on. Maybe I put it on too late that day and I didn't have enough time to channel that energy. And it's just that it goes through my head. And I know that I haven't worn my Spurs shirt for the last few weeks, and Spurs have been, or much this season really, and Spurs doing well. So now I was rushing to get ready for this podcast, chucked a Spurs shirt on. So I feel like now you may come undone, and I'm fearful. What about you, Dave? Do you have any?
not, I
Does
don't.
any of that resonate with you?
No, I don't think I have any of that in terms of watching football. It's more when I was playing sport and shirt
Oh, right.
numbers and stuff like that. So and different, if we'd won a game, I wouldn't wash my boots, or I'd have to make sure the same boots, and if they broke, then I'd have to go and buy the exact same model of those boots, and that was quite difficult
Okay.
when you had some for 2 years. But I don't think in terms of watching Man United play, I would do anything and be like, oh, last time I
Do you know?
had.
So what I have is I have a different pose. So like if I'm sat back in the sofa, relaxed, I'm like, okay. But if the Spurs are searching for a result and it's not coming, I've obviously then got to lean forward and sit forward in my chair
Yeah.
because I'm putting a bit of pressure on. That's how I. Is anyone listening to this going? I
Isn't
understand what you mean, or am I completely alone
But you're
here?
not doing that. Are you doing that to put pressure on the team to say, right, we need to get a goal, or are you doing that because it's intense? It's like Pro Evo when you play Pro Evo. You're playing on your own, and it's not an important game, or in Master League or whatever. You just sit back and you're playing, but as soon as it's an important game, or I'm playing you, or something like that, You would definitely do the old. Right, here we go.
Oh, absolutely. But so no, it is the performer. So I say I sit forward and Spurs grab the equaliser. I'll sit back again.
Yeah.
Nothing's working. I'm like, well, I need to sit forward again. This is how I always sat like that when we scored. There is definitely that to it. So please, anyone listening, please make me feel somewhat more normal by saying that you do something similar.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because
yeah,
at the moment I'm feeling pretty lonely here.
Legends in the chat saying he completely understands what you mean. So I think you've
Oh,
got someone else there. And Cyrus just says in the chat, well, your superstitions are just going to be counted by the opposition superstitions, so it's all square, isn't it?
depends. If Spurs got more superstitious people, and therefore we're up in the superstitions league. We need to have some polls.
Well, there's that. You can do that as the next poll. Do that as the next poll in
Yeah.
for the Twitter. But
Yeah. Do you have a
and Ross has said
superstition when watching from home?
he's not wearing a Spurs shirt for the same reasons. So like they're going well this year, and he hasn't been wearing his kit, so hasn't been wearing his
Dave,
tops.
you need to develop some super. You've actually probably caused Man United's downfall. When it was Fergie era, did you actually have superstitions? You got rid of them after Fergie left, and that's what's all gone to pot.
Do you know what? I probably did. I probably did back then. I actually probably did have some sort of superstition, but not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I guess the only it's not a superstition. I don't think it affects the game, but I do put my Man United shirt on every game I watch. I wear the shirt,
So you would never think
but I
who
wouldn't
lost
think,
if you
oh, if
have
it's
it.
in the wash and I can't wear it, I wouldn't then think that's going to affect the team. No.
Oh, I'll be stomping furiously through to my wife, going, "Why isn't this washed? This we're gonna lose."
We're going to lose because of this washing machine.
Oh, well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't we? Well, we lost because you didn't wash a bloody shirt. That's why.
Well, Josh, you
That's what happened.
should be washing it yourself.
Yes.
So, yeah,
That
that's
is,
why. You only yourself to
yeah.
blame.
Yeah.
So,
There's a reason I would say stuff like that because it would get me into.
yeah, get you a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So what's the
But
point?
just quickly
Go on.
on European football, before we move on to the quiz, did you see Harry Winks' goal?
No.
You not seen Harry Winks' goal?
No.
Oh, Dave, you're in for a little treat. So it was around 65th minute, something like that, and he picks it up, gets thrown to him. And it says it's like 55 yards out, but he's right on the sideline, like inside the opposition half, right on the sideline. And he pings it, and he absolutely roofs it top corner.
Really? I'll have to
He
watch that.
does, yeah. The problem being, though, that Gareth Bale's making a run through, and so therefore you're like, oh, has he really overhit a pass?
Yeah.
Or is he actually? Because it literally pings off the crossbar down. Check it out, it's lovely.
Okay, I'll have to
Um,
watch that.
and so for half an hour, there's a lot of chatter around did he mean it, did he not? And unfortunately, since then, Harry Winks has confirmed he didn't mean it. But for a time, I believed that he was actually a lot more talented footballer than he actually lets on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lovely,
I'll
it's a
check it out.
lovely placement of a mishit pass.
Yeah, I'll check it out definitely. So, yeah, Ross is saying he just should have said he meant it. That's what I would do. I would
Yeah,
have just
absolutely. Do you know what always going from house? Like you've got 30 minutes here to really kind of ready himself, steady his kind of, and go, yeah, meant that, absolutely meant it.
yeah,
So, Puskas.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. But so Josh,
Two
quickly
minutes.
then, superstitions. Is the shirt going to come off before kickoff? Are you going to
I think the
change?
damage has already been done.
The damage has been done, so he just
If I take it off and don't wear it, I'll be like, and we lose, I'm like, it's because you wore it for that hour stint earlier in the day, Josh.
yeah.
The
So
damage has been done. I might as well keep it on.
well,
Although
absolutely.
I don't typically wear football shirts out of the house, so if I'm going out later, I'll take it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah.
So, but right then, what are we moving on to? You're hosting.
Moving on to the quiz. Ooh, la 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 la. It's quizzing time. Right, Dave.
Oh, here we go.
Can you see it? Can everyone see it?
Yep, it's on the.
This
It's
is
on the.
called 2010s. So, this, I don't know if you saw it in the week, Andre Villas-Boas mentioned that FIFA should resign the number 10 shirt in its entirety in respect of Maradona. And I was like, whoa, easy.
Yeah,
Easy,
that's.
Agency. And so I thought, if he were to do that, who would the number 10s in the Premier League be who would be impacted and be upset that they've lost their shirt number? Because they someone who wears number 10, you go, no, that's been retired, you've got to find yourself a new shirt number. So I then created a list of all of the number 10s in the Premier League. And I was going to give it, so there's the list of clubs, just to prompt you. And I was going to put their associated nationality next to them. But I thought, you know what, he's found it a bit too easy. So that is a list of clubs, but it's also a list of nationalities. But the club and the nationality do not match. So there is not an Argentinian number 10 at Arsenal, but there are 3 Argentinian number 10s in the Premier League. Are you clear, David Nichols?
Yes. Okay. That is going to be tough.
Well, go to clubs that you think you've got
Right.
some knowledge on, and then we'll tip those off.
Arsenal,
Yes,
Germany, or German, Mesut Ozil.
correct.
Right. One. Nailed that. Um, I'm going to go Aston Villa, English, Grealish.
Aston Villa, English, Grealish. Well done.
Brighton, Argentina, Mac Allister.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Actually lines up as well.
yeah. Oh, God. I mean, Burnley. Let's have a look at the nationalities.
What, the English ones?
No, yeah, well, I was going to see if it was New Zealand.
Well,
um,
maybe do that the other way around then. Go look at the odd nationalities and see who you compare them
yeah.
with.
Well, because Iceland, I'm going to go with Everton and go Sigurdsson.
Everton, Sigurdsson, Iceland. Correct.
I'm going to go. I feel like USA should be easy. Oh, is it USA, Chelsea, Pulisic?
Correct.
Which means Senegal, Liverpool, Mane.
Liverpool, Mane, Senegal.
I feel like Macedonia should be well easy, but I have no idea. Which Macedonian plays in the Premier League? Okay, so
Was
then I'm
in
going to go
action. He was in action this weekend so far, I think.
Tottenham, England, Harry Kane.
Tottenham, England, Harry Kane. Is he the best player in the world at the moment, Dave?
Yeah, I think we had this discussion last time. I'd say he's probably
Yeah.
up there as one of the best in the
He's
world. Yeah.
probably in currently in the running. So obviously he's setting himself up for a season which could generate a Ballon d'Or nomination, isn't he? With Spurs, if Spurs do change for the title, say if Spurs were to win the title,
Yeah.
he gets a Golden Boot or something of the Euros. That's Ballon d'Or kind of
All
territory.
depends
Obviously,
when
a
his
massive
injury.
way to
All
go.
depends where his injury comes.
Yeah.
So, right.
We've got a big club. What about Man United today? What you got?
Do you know? Oh, Man United, England, Rashford.
Man United, England, children's poverty saviour.
Yeah.
Marcus Rashford.
Um,
What you got? Man City, Dave.
Man City, Argentina, Aguero.
It's actually pronounced Aguero.
Oh, shut up. Sod off. Every bloody podcast you have to get that in. Absolutely ridiculous. Crystal Palace, England, Eze.
No.
No.
Correct with Crystal Palace in England, but wrong player.
Crystal Palace. Who's Crystal Palace's number 10? Is it like Connor Wickham or something stupid?
No. He does play in the first team.
Oh, okay. I'll come back to that one then. Done Everton. Fulham.
Fulham.
So there's no Serbian on there, so it's not Mitro because he must be number 9.
He deserves a number 9. You can't be putting him in a
Is
number
it?
10 shirt.
I'm going to go England Lookman.
No. It is England though.
Okay, I'll come back to that one. Leeds. Oh my god. Is it England? Is it Bamford?
No, wrong nationality there, Dave.
Oh, damn it. Come back to Leeds.
Leicester.
I mean, I've got to say Vardy, but I don't think it is. I think he's 9.
Who would you put in that? No, in that side, who would you put in a number 10 role?
Maybe James Maddison?
James Maddison, correct.
Nice.
That's broken a little bit of a drought there. There's a little bit of a.
Yeah. I'm struggling now.
Yeah.
Done Liverpool, done Man City, done Man United. Newcastle.
What nationalities you got left, Dave? You got what?
France,
You got.
St Maximin.
There you go.
Sheffield United, don't know that. Southampton. England, Danny Ings. Damn it. England, Shea Adams.
England, Shea Adams, yeah. West Brom.
West Brom, I thought it was Hal Robson-Kanu. But he's got a stupid number. It's like 4.
No, he's got number 4, I
Yeah.
think.
West
Bonker.
Brom. There's no Brazilians in there, so it's not Pereira. So West Brom must be English.
No, you've got so
No.
international. You've got an Argentinian left, English, Macedonia, Portugal, and 2 Scotland left.
I'm drawing a
Yeah.
blank for West Brom.
Okay, what about West Ham then?
West Ham, Argentina, Lanzini.
Yes. So 3 number 10 Argentinians in the
Yeah.
Premier League. Obviously, Sergio Aguero is the was the son-in-law of Diego Maradona.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yeah. Wolves. I'm just gonna. I don't know who it is, but I'm gonna go Portugal.
Correct.
Moutinho.
No.
It's not Neves. Oh, Raul Jimenez. Was he number 9?
No, 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 no.
Where's Wolves number 10? No, I'm struggling here.
Okay. So we'll go back to Burnley then, because Burnley and Palace, I reckon you got it's had a good chance.
Burnley, England, Rodriguez.
No.
Burnley, England. Oh my god, they've got such a dearth of attacking creative talent.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing you're struggling, I think it probably shows that Burnley don't appreciate the number 10 role in its
Yeah, definitely.
form. Okay,
Um,
well, I feel like you've kind of reached the end of the road here,
I
Dave.
think I have. Yeah, I think you have to put. Oh no, Crystal Palace. Let me have a go at Crystal Palace. I feel like I can get that. Crystal Palace, number 10. Number 10. It's definitely English, isn't it? You said.
Yes.
And he plays
There's
in
a
the
kid for
starting.
England.
And if it's not Eze, who do they play? Who do they start up front? Zaha and Ayew.
Benteke.
Yeah, but he's not English. Well, now, yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying to.
I'm answering you.
Yeah,
You said, "Are you?" And
that's
Zaha.
true. Yeah, I did. It's got to be. Oh, who's Andros Townsend?
Andros Townsend for the 14th correct answer
And
from
I'm going to
David.
end it there with my 14 because I think I'm going to struggle for the rest.
Okay, all right. So we're missing Burnley, Fulham, Leeds, Sheffield United, West Brom, and Wolves.
So I'm gonna retire from the quiz. So I'm now going to
Mhm.
pop over to YouTube and see if we've got any answers in there. Um, I was like, oh, number 9. No answers in there. I'm trying to work out who's Scottish for Spurs. Everyone was confused, Josh, by your listing the nationality next to.
Yeah, I just didn't want to make it too easy. I thought I want to give you a prompt because I thought just putting Southampton down would leave you some, but by having some odd nationalities there, I think probably helped you prompt you to give them. But yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not synced up, so there's not.
Can you?
Yeah, there's not a Scottish number 10 for Spurs. There's no one Scottish in the Spurs side.
What country is the Macedonian? What
Uh,
country? What club?
Leeds. So
Leeds,
it's Burnley,
Macedonia.
England, Fulham, England, Leeds, Macedonia, Sheffield United, England, West Brom, Scotland. Oh, sorry, I think Fulham, Scotland. I don't know. Wolves, Portugal.
Wolves, Portugal. I'll go with Felix. No,
No.
put me out my misery,
So
Josh.
I'll put you out your
Put me
misery,
out my
Dave.
misery.
I'll put you out. So it is Burnley, Ashley Barnes.
Oh, he's not English. He's Austrian.
He's in Wikipedia note him as he's had appearances for Austria, but I think he's never since. I'm not sure he's had full appearances. I think he.
I'm calling error on the quiz because if it said Austrian, I would have got it.
Well, if it said something which technically isn't true, yeah, okay.
Ashley Barnes.
Yeah, he played in the one appearance in the under 20s, but
Yeah, and
yeah,
how many appearances has he had for any English national team? None. Therefore, he's more Austrian than English. I'm not happy with that.
I'll give Dave a point for that because he's otherwise I don't want to see a grown man cry on
Exactly.
YouTube. Right,
No one wants to see
we
that.
got Fulham, and I can't remember if he's Scottish or English, but he's a left-footed attacking midfielder who's been with them
Kearney.
for a long time. Tom Kearney. Leeds, Macedonia is Alioski.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Sheffield United is Billy Sharp.
Oh, never yet, never got
West
that.
Brom is Matt Phillips, and Wolves is Daniel Podence.
Daniel Podence has got number 10. Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
good quiz. Good quiz actually. Good quiz. Like it. It wasn't too hard. It wasn't as hard as you were implying.
There's definitely some easy wins on there. Like, if I
Yeah.
didn't like the top 10 sides, it'd have been just like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, when you get into the dregs, shall I say, of the Premier League, then it gets a little bit
I've
tougher.
got. I'm very proud of myself for Brighton Argentina McAllister.
That is a very good one,
So
and
that's up
what a
there.
name as well.
That's up there.
Alexis
Yeah.
McAllister.
Alex McAllister.
But thanks, McAllister. So talking about dregs of the Premier League, let's start the reviews of the weekend's football with Palace and Newcastle.
Yeah.
The
Well.
Johan Cabaye derby, I'll say that, eh?
Oh, the Johan Cabaye derby. Yeah, nice.
What a steal that was for Newcastle when they bought him. Like 5 million from, I want to say, Lorient, maybe. Oh, that's a oh. But I mean, he was just a class act, wasn't he? He had a
Yeah.
little bit of spice to him as well, a little bit nasty. But yeah,
Great
lovely
player.
player, very composed. Could have done with him. Palace, this is, and Newcastle probably could still do with him, but
It's really interesting.
Brucey bonus balls.
Yeah, because I know quite a few Geordies from weirdly my time in Bristol. There seemed to be a number of footballers that I played with who were Geordies, and there was a press conference or an interview afterwards with the goalkeeper whose name I'm drawing a blank on, Dubravka.
Oh
Um,
no, Caldalo.
no, Cardalo played. Sorry, yeah, Cardalo, and he basically went, it's all about the results. This is a results business. And it's caused a bit of an uproar with Newcastle fans. They seem to be now coming out and being like, well, it's not, is it? It's entertainment. This is meant to be where we go to get away from reality. We're meant to watch football. We're meant to enjoy it. And it's absolutely dire. I don't give a F if we win 2
Yeah.
nil or 1-0 or do it. But this is absolutely shocking.
Yeah, I had for once I watched a bit of Match of the Day last night, and Danny Murphy was saying, "I don't know what Newcastle fans want. Bruce is doing really well." Points was like, what they want is some enjoyment, mate. It is bleak. Like they just basically not even defend well. They just defend for 85 minutes and then try and score in the last five. It's
Yeah.
like they are. I mean, they are a dangerous side from 85 minutes onwards. I think they've scored 6 of their last 10 goals in that period of time.
Bloody
It's,
hell.
I mean, if there's yeah, they will score in the 85-minute plus in a game they don't deserve to win. They will just score those goals, and it's I they will want results as well.
Yeah.
But no one wants to play. No one wants to do Blackpool and play entertaining football and go down. But they don't. They don't want to sacrifice lovely performances in its entirety.
It makes me upset with someone like St Maximin being there. And it's because imagine him being just in a better team where they encouraged attacking football. Someone who isn't like Man United, but maybe like a Spurs. Some
Or
well, no,
lead that kind of lead side. He
Leeds,
wouldn't,
yeah,
yeah. But I'm not sure he's not a Bielsa player. But
no. And I mean,
just you mentioned Carl Darlow. Carl Darlow is strike me as a kind of evergreen youth prospect at Newcastle. He's like 30 years old.
yeah, I
So it's
know
like he's always this up and coming. He's like the Steve Harper of this generation, isn't he?
Jesse Lingard of this
Um,
generation.
but it's testament to him because so much time last year we're like, oh, Dubravka is an absolute class act and he's keeping them in games. But Darlow's been excellent this season.
Yeah,
He's really been very good. But Palace, they're a great start to the season. They do undo this, don't they? They just
they
have these run. I mean, losing to Burnley and Newcastle in a week without really scoring no goals. They're just
yeah.
missing Zaha so much, aren't they?
It's just incredible how they can go from being that good to not being any good, like in such a quick turnaround. Like you say, not scoring against Newcastle and Burnley, and then losing 2-0 at home to Newcastle, who, I mean, Newcastle must have come away from that game and thinking, why just we didn't attack from the beginning? Like you
Yeah.
say, they turned it on in the last 5 minutes and went forward and
Well,
got two
that's a
goals.
point where it would turn, where you're going to lose the dressing room because not many players in a squad will be happy playing in that style, and they'll be like, "We can do it," and then
Yeah,
it'll be a point where Bruce twists and goes, "Right, yeah, well, let's unleash," and then they get absolutely
yeah,
Burnley at the Etihad. Palace probably. I mean, were Palace linked with Callum Wilson during the summer? I can't remember, but they haven't had a solid finisher since Glenn Murray, and it's so apparent that they're just lacking up there. It's just
and even that,
Eze, Townsend, Zaha will create chances, but God, by God, will they not finish them?
Yeah.
It's Benteke, no. Ayew in fits and starts. It's really, I mean, Batshuayi.
I don't rate Batshuayi. I don't think he's got enough about him.
You can flatter to deceive when you play in such small portions. It's like for me, it's like the Alvaro Morata
Yeah, okay.
experience where, isn't he good coming on, coming on for an elite side for 20, 30 minutes, grabbing a goal when they're already 2-0 up. Yes, they score goals. You got to start for a full season, then you find out what you got as a player.
Yeah, definitely.
Not quite what you expected.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a bit a 2-0 win, but also pretty rubbish for Newcastle
Yeah.
in terms of the football that's on display. And Crystal Palace have just got to sort this out. They've got to do something to turn it around. How long's Zaha away for? How long's he out for?
Zaha's COVID, isn't it? So
Is it COVID?
I don't know.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
So he should be back next week.
You'd have thought so. If it's just isolation he's having to do, yeah.
Yeah,
Supposed to
okay.
have Matt Doherty back in midweek. Yeah, like seasons, but I imagine I'd say that neither Palace and Newcastle will be that enamoured by the season so far. Newcastle 12th, Palace 15th. I imagine the good work to begin with from Palace is probably seemed like a long time ago. Newcastle, the points are on the board, but the performances aren't there. So I imagine neither are probably happy with their manager. There'll be a big group of both fan bases who aren't happy with their managers.
Yeah,
But
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay, let's move on to Adam Lallana derby. This was Brighton v Liverpool, and it had some bets on it. Well, it had a bet on for me.
And
You have a
me.
bet on for you, Dave?
Yeah, had a bet on for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the cold light today, I realised the bet I placed in this match was one of the stupidest bet builders I've ever done. So I utilised the Bet365 bet builder for fun, and I placed a bet that Liverpool to win and there to be more than one goal in the match. Now, I'm not sure what I was expecting Liverpool to do to win that, to not score more than one goal in the match, but well done, Josh. That is a great bet build. But it didn't come to fruition because it was 1-1, and that was somewhat disappointing for me. But looking at the game and the performance, I mean, we got some. I'm reluctant to go into it again with the threadbare
Oh,
offsides, but
the toenail.
the toenail offsides, you obviously discount offside goals because they're offside goals, and then you look at XG, they don't count because they weren't a chance. They didn't really create much aside from that, but obviously they did create good chances with that, so it's tough. But I'd thought Brighton would struggle without Lamptey in the side, struggle to create, but they actually had turned in a decent performance, really, overall, I thought.
Yeah, they did. I was impressed with Brighton, to be honest. I think Mope had one of those days where nothing went for him. He was put through a couple of times and fired wide. I think he had one shot straight at Allison. He missed the penalty. I mean, not even hitting the
Yeah.
target with the
I'm
penalty.
not sure if he was injured for that penalty, because obviously he went off injured.
Yeah,
Him and Lana both got injured, and Mope, I'm not sure is ever going to be that Premier League consistent striker that they're looking for. He's going to be Mope will end up back down in the Championship at some point in time. Could be
yeah,
in a relegated side, or he's just not that elite level. You can't be missing those type of chances that he has done. He has a little run of form, scored 10, 11 goals last year, but I just can't see him being. There'll be an upgrade at Brighton Seek if they maintain their position. I just can't see it.
yeah. So, and obviously this is where the title comes from with Klopp. Is he cracking under the pressure? He's having a go at journalists and press stuff now, and he's
Yeah, TV
sarcastically,
scheduling.
sarcastically thanked BT Sport for James Milner's injury. And how do you feel about that? Because obviously they always say the hardest thing to do is to retain the title that you've won. Is the hunger still there to do
Absolutely,
it?
yeah, and last year was something special because what preceded it was one of the most tightly run titles with the most points scored, wasn't it? But Liverpool, Man City went toe to toe, and Liverpool last season carried that mentality through. They were like, we need to be 100% on it,
Yeah,
otherwise we will not win this title. And it turns out they didn't have to be 100% on it because Man City weren't. They couldn't retain the title. And you can just see cracks in the Liverpool mentality this year. I feel you see cracks in the players' muscles, but you see the mentality dwindling a bit. I mean, fair play to was it Villa last weekend where they came through with a kind of a second-rate side.
yeah.
They can still put it on, but there's just not that 100% consistency, elite kind of win
Is
every game mentality, which is completely understandable because
yeah. You've done it.
It's a slog. It's like that. The Klopp is an intense manager with an intense style, and it's just and the football over the last kind of 18 months has been unique and very intense in parts, very kind of low in parts. But yeah, I'd say that the pressure's building a little bit in terms of he feel like Klopp will feel like the world's against him with all the injuries he's got, and he knows I mean, they're fielding forwards in midfield, midfields in defence. It's a makeshift side at times for Liverpool. I can understand why he's feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I can't decide if it's Klopp cracking under pressure and getting really wound up and trying to just blame anything about it, or is he actually trying to instill a Mourinho-esque us v everyone else mentality to.
Do you know what? He reminded me of Mourinho because Mourinho's been for a while been on top form for Spurs in
Yeah.
terms of his media and the whole attack at Chris Wilder guy, and he's got 3 subs and 1 point. That is Mourinho style kind of comments there, and it's fair. It's a lovely comment. I mean,
But yeah,
but I don't really see for it. We spoke about it the other week. I don't see the 5 subs changing things wholly for him,
no.
but I can understand him wanting it at the same time.
But the
So
game.
we had Diogo Jota scoring yet again.
Yeah.
He's in such a rich vein of form that even his scuff shots are going right into the corner. That's when you know you're in one of those unbeatable moments.
Yeah, 6 goals in the last 6 games in it for him, I think. Six
Yeah,
and
lovely.
6 in the last 6. Yeah, so yeah, it was good. I mean, Brighton did well, and Brighton, they where are they in the table? Mid-table, yeah, but well, just above relegation on 16th,
Yeah, so
15th.
that's again. It's been a stop-start. See, they've not come good in games. I mean, still obviously this could easily have been another game where they come close. They've struggled again. They struggled to score. Lamptey's creating chances, and they've struggled. Mope. It's just his strikers are so important. That's why Newcastle are where they are because Callum Wilson has what 7 goals in 9 games,
Yeah,
something like that. Ten
yeah.
games, but no, 9 games. He missed one injured, suspended, injured. Yeah, it's tough scoring goals, and as we'll talk about when we talk about a Sheffield United match, but penalty late on, somewhat contentious for some. I don't believe it's
No,
contentious.
I don't understand why people are saying that's not a penalty. I mean, Welbeck gets the ball. Was it Welbeck? I think get the ball first,
Welbeck, yeah,
and
yeah.
Robertson just boots his foot.
It's so lazy from Rob. It's just a real tired. I'm just going to try and lash this clear. He could easily have just held his position and nothing would have really come for it. He lashes
Yeah,
through him, kicks him. It looks a bit funny because ball would play go different ways and it doesn't look like your traditional foul. But I mean, we had this. When is it? Is it Napoli in Liverpool's Champions League group? And I guess Napoli, and they had a penalty received on Salah for a kick with foot with him a couple of weeks back. I mean, the other way for Liverpool, but Virgil van Dijk kicked through Lamella a few seasons back penalty. These are
yeah,
given, and
yeah.
I have no real issue. I'd probably have more
Robertson
issue with the continued offside decision, if anything.
Robertson didn't get the ball and he's kicked the player. It's a penalty.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I couldn't see it was contentious. But a 1-1 draw. I mean, yeah. I don't know what the stats were. I'll have a quick flick just quickly because it felt like Brighton actually played really well. Yeah, Brighton had 11 shots. Liverpool had 6. 3 shots on target for Brighton, only 2 for Liverpool. Possession was dominated by Liverpool. But yeah, I mean, Brighton, they just need to turn a few wins, don't they? They need to turn the corner and get a few wins, Brighton. So
Yeah, agreed.
yeah,
Okay, all right. We'll move on to the inevitable, the Joey Barton
I
derby.
was going to say must be Joey Barton, yeah.
Again, Joey Barton. A few options, I think.
Joe Hart, Joe Barton.
Yeah, Kieran Trippier.
Kieran Trippier play for Man City?
That is wrong. No, it's right. Did he have a youth career? I think he had a roof. Yeah, I remember
Oh,
on a football manager. He was there as a youth.
oh okay.
I want to. Fourth consecutive 5-0 at the Etihad for Burnley. 5-0 loss, in case anyone's unaware of the results.
Sean Dyche is not learning, is he?
No, who does this reflect worse on, the players or the manager for Burnley?
The manager.
Manager. It's yeah, I'd
Because some of
agree.
those players
He
have
seems to
changed and they
just
still lost
go.
5-0.
Honestly, it feels like Dyche tries a lot harder down south against London clubs. It seems like it's a real tough match for Burnley playing like other sides, but he seems to just kind of open himself up for an absolute pummeling from
Yeah.
Man City each time. Ridiculous.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest of debuts for Peacock Farrell. Well, it probably wasn't his debut, but it probably wasn't a good stand-in for Pope Peacock Farrell
I'll tell you
coming in.
what, he's just absolutely thanking the Lord he wasn't going to be included on goalkeepers, hounders, and bluffs when he kneed it into his own goal, but got
Yeah,
saved by the offside. He's probably thinking, right, I can deal with 5-0 and no own goals, but 6-0 and own goal that goes down in kind of worst in history type debuts, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, it
Not that
wasn't.
he was at fault for any. I
No,
want
I
to
don't think he was
say
at
it's
fault for
pretty.
anything. I think Mahrez's
No,
goals were all really nice. Even the header at the back post
we
was
we
quite good.
spoke about him obviously being the solo hat trick for an Algerian. He now gets his hat trick for Man City after his Leicester hat trick. Still, we also spoken about him recently being one of the most selfish players in the league. You can see that with his goals. It's
Yeah,
just kind of like again, like dummy, 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 and then right into the side of a goal. Or yeah, he is incredibly selfish. I'd say a very un-Pep style player. If I'm honest, he
yeah. I
doesn't
know what you
really.
mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like
Yeah.
the way that De Bruyne to Sane to Sterling just hold on for a little bit, but it was a lot more quicker football typically. But yeah, lovely hat trick.
He's incredibly accurate, Riyad Mahrez, with his shots. They're like all ripple side netting in off the post, and he's
Yeah,
incredibly accurate with that left foot.
or fortunate.
Or
He's
fortunate, yeah, or
trying to
fortunate.
keep it middle of a goal, and he just keeps pushing it there.
So
Um,
Burnley,
yeah, I
what
mean
we?
Burnley, they're probably thankful they beat Palace on Monday night because
Yeah,
otherwise you'd be in a similar position to Sheffield United, right down there. But it's going to be a long season, isn't it?
it's going to be a long season. We last week's podcast I think was titled "Dyche to leave Burnley?" question mark because I can still see it happening. I can't see him hanging on. I can see Burnley going down. They're down there now, aren't they? Are they in the relegation zone now? Are they still in 18th? They started the day in 18th, I think. But
Um,
yeah, I just Burnley just they don't have much about them.
no,
It's
we're talking looking at the next game. So next weekend we've got at home to Everton, which that Burnley of old, Burnley of previous seasons would stand a chance there, and Everton of old would stand a chance there. Depends what turns up. Everton obviously we'll
poor bit
speak
of
of
form.
next, but have been but Arsenal after away at Arsenal again. That doesn't whet the appetite, does it? Arsenal can't score, Burnley can't score.
No, but
Get your
again,
bets on
back in the
now.
day, you would have said Burnley going to the Emirates to play Arsenal. You would have
They
maybe
could
backed
put them
Burnley, but
about, ruffle some centre backs up.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think I'd
Villa
book Arsenal to
away,
win that.
Wolves at home. It can go either way with those results. There's nothing there you think are bankers and nothing there you think's beyond them. But yeah,
Yeah.
City back to scoring goals. John Stones back in the side as well, which is nice to see. I don't. I have a little bit of affinity with John Stones. I don't mind him. He just needs to just tone down, just dial down the old messing about a bit. Is
Yeah.
how I'd say in the game.
He looked quite composed. They were playing Burnley. There wasn't really too much of an attacking threat on them. John Stones looked composed and looked good, and he partnered Diaz, didn't he, at the back, and they look quite comfortable together. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, the goal. I mean, I did think about this because I've seen the stat of 5-0, but I chose not to bet on this match because Burnley were weren't conceding too many, but City weren't scoring lots.
No.
City weren't in their free flowing football, but turns out it was inevitable. All right, well,
Yeah.
should we talk about we've mentioned Everton, Burnley's next opponents. We'll talk about the Jermaine Beckford derby, Everton v Leeds, and I put a bet on this match, for fun. And and I honestly don't know how this ended up 1-0. This was a rip-roaring match,
Yeah.
and I think it's a story of players being back from injury or out injured. So Leeds obviously welcome back Calvin Phillips back into the side
Yeah.
recently, and yeah, it ticks a lot better with him, and also Keek in midfield as well. That is a really good, not quite a partnership because I think they play three, but that
Yeah.
is a really good central midfield partnership. And on the other side of the scale, we have Everton missing Digne at left back, therefore play a kind of 5-3 at the back, and you put in Alex Iwobi at left wing back.
Alex Iwobi, I don't know how he's a Premier League footballer.
You know your stand as a Premier League footballer when you're typically a kind of attacking midfielder, maybe playing the wing, and you're getting put at left wing back. That's when you know you're in the kind of Ashley Young era of your career,
Yeah.
where you're getting just farmed around when you're not quite good enough for your side, but you can kind of do a job. And it was what 40 million.
Yeah. 40 million. What a waste of money. What a waste of money.
Yeah, almost. I mean, Joe Linton. Who would you rather spend 40 million on? Joe Linton or Alex Iwobi?
Joe Linton, hands down, every day. Joe Linton.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I don't understand how Alex Iwobi is a Premier League footballer. Every time I've watched him, even at Arsenal and now at Everton, every time I watch him, all I can think of is, oh my God, you're awful. For a Premier League team, you're awful. He plays for He's Arsenal and Everton, two teams that ideally want to get the Champions League. He shouldn't be anywhere near that. He should be nowhere near it. Joel Linton at least is playing at a sort of good level for him at Newcastle, it seems, and he can do an effective job.
Yeah, and true with Joe Linton. I feel like he right styled. He's not a lone striker. So I think
No,
with if he's partnering with Callum Wilson, if he's Joel Linton, Wilson, Maximin, maybe I mean it's never going to happen. Almiron, that four that could get the best out of people. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously left wing back's not to get best to get out of Alex Iwobi, but he's not been playing it for long. It's just there's a time where he'll go past a player and whop a ball out for a goal kick. It's a bit of an attacking black hole.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, how enjoyable it Leeds to watch.
it is good.
It's just all action, all running, but the problem is they need to start getting these points on the board. This is really good point for 3 points for them, but they need because they're playing so intense. There will be that season, that end of season collapse where they're just not going to be picking up those points. They need to be getting them on the board now.
And they've missed quite a few chances in this. Pickford,
They
I know
have.
we vilify Pickford. He did make some really good saves in this game. He did sort of
He
keep
did,
Everton
yeah,
in
yeah.
it. He still came out and did his random starfish jump where he
He
jumps
does do
in
his random
midair
stuff.
and
Yeah.
opens up his legs. He did that a couple of times, but he had a good game. But yeah, Leeds wasted a lot of chances.
In this match, I mean, lovely goal.
Yeah,
Personally, I really like the goal. But yeah, I mean, they played Arsenal last weekend, was it?
yeah,
And they should have won that. There's been a lot of what ifs for Leeds so far this season and that's with Bamford on form,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which is a bit of a worry. But they're missing. Then I mean, it's not Bamford missing all these chances, but he's on form, which is not typical of him to score this many goals. You wouldn't have put it on him. So if he's scoring goals and they're also missing a lot of chances, you think when it dries up for Bamford, is it going to maybe Rafinha's or Rodrigo's would have bedded in a little bit. But yeah, it's tiny shoots of positivity for Leeds, but
it could be
I'm
wiped
also
out.
there's a background there's a bit of concern.
Yeah,
We spoke about it with Villa last week with missing players. So Ross Barkley went off injured for Villa last week, didn't he? And the second string, well, last year's first 11, now back up, wasn't quite good enough. You can just see it here with Everton as well. They've improved the midfield, Alan, Doucouré, James, and then up. But as soon as you get your other players coming up, Fabian Delph playing, it's not he's not at that level. Alan is just an absolute boss, but you bring Delph in instead, or as well as, and it's just not quite the same, is it?
yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right, and it's teams I think are going to be found out with that this year with the compacted schedule and everything. It's going to really affect those people that don't have the adequate sort of backups to come in and fill the slots.
Yeah, it'll probably ease itself out when you get into the new year. It relaxes a little bit. European football gets spread out a little bit, and cup football sides are out of cup competitions. But yeah, between now and probably the end of Jan, I'd say you're going to see a lot more fluctuations where it will normalise then from February onwards. I'd have thought.
Yeah, I agree.
But well done, Leeds. Good. I think it was their first ever win at Goodison. I think
Is
for
it?
Leeds
I didn't see that.
in
Yeah,
the Premier League. Yeah,
it was their first consecutive Premier League
clean
clean
sheet.
sheets since 2002 or something. 2002, 2003.
Yeah,
So
those stats are funny because obviously they spent a
a long time.
chunk of time
Yeah.
out of the league.
Out of the league, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, well played for them. Yeah.
All right, and then we've got the final game, the Jeff Horsfield derby.
Oh,
Dave, you put some added
did.
fun in this match, didn't you?
I put a bet on and it came in. Yeah, I had less than 2.5 goals or under 2.5 goals in this, and well, it was nailed on, wasn't it? It was always nailed on.
It did. I mean, I thought they would out poor performance each other. I thought they'd out do each other and just score goals aplenty. So I was reluctant to put a bet on this match, but it turns out I shouldn't have been. I mean, Sheffield United created a lot in this match.
Yeah,
To
they
be fair
did.
to them.
They
They
definitely-
did create a lot, and there's just a lot of glaring misses. Again, I mean, I was watching it last night, and my wife went, "McBurney, what a name!" I was like, "Yeah, he's not very good."
Yeah, what a name. Terrible footballer.
Yeah, wears his short socks well, but he does not play football to a Premier League standard.
No.
Um,
And they
but yeah, he's
Sheffield United struggle like that, don't they? Because their strikers are Billy Sharp, McBurney, Mousset,
Goldrick
McGoldrick, and it's not
and Ryan Brewster.
Ryan Brewster
There's
who,
names. There's too many names there.
yeah,
I mean, you look again, and maybe it will come good. But as I said at the time, the Ryan Brewster signing strikes me of Tammy Abraham on loan at a relegation battling Swansea. It's just not going to go for him. I can see him probably getting. It wouldn't surprise me. Relegated with Sheffield United, stays with them, scores goals aplenty next year in the Championship, and then gets a Premier League move the following year. I just think it's come too early to be a Premier League starting striker for him.
yeah, okay, yeah, I can understand that.
So I see that.
Um,
But
so
good
we
for
had
West
some,
Brom. West Brom taking themselves out of the relegation zone.
yeah, lovely finish from Gallagher as well, who I keep wanting to call
Yes.
Sam Gallagher, but that's not his name, so
Oh.
I can't even remember his first name. But like,
Connor?
yeah, Connor, that's it, Connor Gallagher. Two names that shouldn't go together in my mind. Connor Gallagher,
Really?
yeah, I don't think it goes. So
Okay.
if you're listening, change
Send
your
him a
name.
tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did have a few questions. Have Everton been found out early on this in the league? I think we sort of touched on that. I don't think they have. I think it's the lack of backup.
I think yeah, it was going well because they're playing the same side. James was just on the night. It was a bit nicer weather.
Yeah.
James was a new thing for Premier League, and now all of a sudden he's had to change his style a little bit, fit James in, so he doesn't have to do as much tracking back. Other players have been injured. I think it was just people hyping him up too much early on the season because it was a story. He was like, "Wow, look at Everton doing well." It's like,
Yeah.
hold your horses
I
here.
mean, they did.
Saying that, I did listen to an interview with Dominic Calvert-Lewin the other day, and he's just such a nice bloke, really nice bloke, and.
Yeah, that's too. You can't have
I'm
good
a
guy
fan.
Calvert-Lewin. That's too long.
Yeah. Oh.
Good guy Dom.
He was actually referred to as Dom
Dom.
in the interview. So maybe he needs to change it. So it's Dom Calvert. It works better. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, doesn't it? Dom
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin actually seems harder.
Yeah. Good guy
Yeah.
Dom. Good guy Dom.
Any other questions?
Why have Sheffield United fallen so badly?
So we touched on this before, and just before we went live, and David proclaimed his
Disdain.
disdain, for of Aaron Ramsdale. And I tweeted early in the week, and I'll put it out there live and give you a pause for effect if you haven't seen it. That is now 46, 47 Premier League appearances for Aaron Ramsdale. How many clean sheets? Five.
Dreadful.
Five clean sheets. And granted, he's played for some relegation battling sides, but is it cause or effect? Are they relegation battling because he's in goal, or is he just up against it? That's for me the biggest personnel change they've had is losing Dean
Yeah.
Henderson, getting Aaron Ramsdale, who I don't think is good enough, and it was sold for something like 20 million, 18 million.
Yeah.
Not good enough.
I don't think Aaron Ramsdale's
But
good enough.
also, it can just get on top of you. You're losing game after game, and you're having a bad start. It takes a lot to get yourself out of that, and it shows character from him. Is Wilder's going to start changing things? Struggling managers start changing things, but it's also just those little goals they were getting. The 1-0s, scraping the goal, like little finishes we were getting, they just aren't there.
Yeah.
They were on too finer edge on both ends of the pitch. The goals were just getting there, and Dean Henderson was working his magic, just keeping them out, and it's just it was. And it can obviously look dramatically different when you get a lot of those fine wins, but it's just not happening.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because obviously one of the questions was, have Everton been found out? I think Sheffield United have been found out as well, because I think last year there was such a surprise with some of the tactics they made and the players they had, and people expecting so much less of them.
Well, you have that as well, but the results instill a bit more respect in side in the opponents. Like they're wherever in the league, they're scoring goals.
Yeah.
You've got the system you're playing against. So you've got a really good goalkeeper. It's like, but now you're looking at it going, I'm not scared of you.
No.
There's no fear there. There's probably still respect, but a reduced level of respect.
Yeah.
I just don't see people thinking. And the longer you go without scoring a goal, the more sides will try and punish it and go, you know what? All we have to do is get the early goal. We're not scoring.
Yeah.
We're not scoring a goal, and just hit them early on, and then we just control this match.
True. Right, so very quickly, we'll just quickly review the betting so that you can see it all on one page where it is right now. So I had two bets on. Under 2.5 goals, West Brom v Sheffield United came in, but over 2.5 goals in Brighton v Liverpool didn't. And Josh?
I had Liverpool to win and score over 1 goal in the Brighton match, Didn't come in, and I had over 2.5 goals in the Everton Leeds match. Did not come in.
Yep,
So
yep.
nil. Well, it still had fun, but didn't have over. I didn't overfund myself.
You didn't
Didn't overfund.
overfund yourself. That's true. So
Yeah.
yeah, like limits. That's not what I mean. Balance wise, you are just up on your
Yeah,
£15
still got some
stake.
residual fun. Yeah, 13 pence of residual fun that I've earned.
Yep, and I'm up there just under £16 as well. So
Are you?
yeah,
Okay. All
doing all
right.
right. Doing all right in the bets. The sensible betting with Josh and Dave. Funness.
Manometer is there. We're still in the fun bank. Right. Let's move on. Hit me, Dave.
I got a wiki file for you. Hey, if you can do a shorter one, so can I. Right, Josh has sent me something here, which I he was so proud about this. He said before we came on, and we sent it over Skype. Before we came on, he went, "I think this is the hardest wiki file we've ever had." So here we go. For those listening on Spotify, I'll try and do this as slowly as possible, but I have quite a lot to get through on this wiki file. So, youth career, Leicester, straight out of the womb until 1991. That was his youth career. He then signed as a senior 1991 to 1995 at Leicester City. He played 10 times, scoring 0 goals over 4 years. However, right, here we go.
7 loans.
7 loan spells. 1991 Lincoln City, 2 appearances, 0 goals. 1992 Blackpool, 0 appearances, 0 goals. 1992 Cheltenham Town, 3 appearances, 0 goals. 1993 Kettering Town, 7 appearances, 0 goals. 93 to 94 Bolton Wanderers, 4 appearances, 0 goals. 94 Lincoln City, 15 appearances, 0 goals. 95 Derby County, 15 appearances, 0 goals. That last loan move got him a permanent move to
They
Derby.
liked what they saw.
They did like what they saw. 1995 to 2000, Derby County, 108 appearances, 0 goals. And then in the year
What a crap striker this
2000,
guy is.
sorry?
What a crap striker this guy is.
Yeah. In the year 2000, he went to Portsmouth on loan, played 10 times, scoring none. And then he got a permanent move to Portsmouth,
They
2000
liked
to
what they
2001.
saw.
They liked what they saw. 30 appearances, 0 goals. 2001 to 2007, he was at West Bromwich Albion. 190 appearances, 0 goals.
Ding, 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 ding. Kind of rule.
Yeah,
Accepted.
okay. 2005, he got a loan move to Nottingham Forest. 8 appearances, 0 goals.
They did not like what they saw.
They did not like what they saw. 2007 to 2008, he moved to Stoke City, playing once with 0 goals. In 2008, he had 2 loan spells to Notts County, playing a total of 14 appearances with 0 goals. They liked what they saw, gave him a permanent deal. In 2008 to 2010, 20 appearances, 0 goals. That got him. He then went on loan to Darlington after signing for Notts County a year later, 2009. 6 appearances, 0 goals, and then he finished his career at Hereford United in 2011 to 2012 with 2 appearances, 0 goals, giving this guy a total of 445 appearances, 0 goals over. I can't even count how many teams that actually is that he's represented.
Don't know, but things I want to say. Well done if you're still listening.
Yeah,
That was a slog, and I don't know if you've seen the James Acaster stand up. Give it a check out. But when you mentioned Kettering Town, I wanted to sing the song. Have you heard this?
I think I have heard it. Yeah, I think.
K to the E to the T to the T, E to the R to the I N G, T to the O to the W N, Kettering Town, FC, and it's just
There you
great
go.
song. And James Acaster, absolute legend. So, Dave, what are your initial thoughts on this player? Do you have a name in mind?
No.
Oh,
Goalkeeper.
yes, it is a goalkeeper. Nationality in mind?
English.
Yes, English goalkeeper. And from what I told you, you know his Premier League stint came for
West Brom.
West Brom and also for Derby as well. He was there.
Okay. West Brom, English goalkeeper. Who you said even before we went live, you were like, probably the most forgettable person in the Premier League.
I mean, yeah. Well, I'll be very impressed if anyone gets this because so just to give you a bit of background. When I was looking at you, because you sent me Martin Phillip last week.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder what his save percent or his clean sheet percentage is like, and because it was also the stat I think it was his last week's quiz. I did the clean sheets because I looked
Yeah.
at Hugo Lloris's a few clean sheets away. I was like, well, who's the lowest? Who's got the lowest save percentage? And obviously, it starts off with people who've had like one game and no clean sheets. But then you get to some numbers, some heady numbers. That's where Aaron Ramsdale came in with his like 10% clean sheet.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes in. This English guy played for Derby and West Brom in the Premier League, has got an awful percentage on his clean sheet in terms of clean sheets ratio to games. And I thought, God, that was a player, wasn't it? He
Oh,
existed. And no, I didn't remember him.
West
Oh my goodness, he's got a personal life section as well. Yes, please.
West Bromwich Albion goalkeeper English. Who would have been in the West Brom team at that time? Who else would have been in it?
Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can
Was that
find
like
that.
Kieran Richardson, Great Escape era?
You know, they got relegated in that time as well. But I imagine there would have been. I'm thinking, obviously, Chris Brunt is in there.
Yeah.
He's always been in there. Ooh,
I think I'm going to have to pass. I literally have got no one coming to my mind for West Brom other than Thomas Kuszak, who's not English.
okay, okay. So I'll give you a clue, maybe. He was born in Ashby de la Zouch. Lovely. He 6'3". He has no middle name. He's now 47. He was a regular and was watched by manager Sven-Göran Eriksson, but never made it into the international squad. A highlight was saving Dion Dublin's penalty to score a draw in the
I mean,
02-03
he
season.
played against Dion Dublin. He's going to be well old.
Yeah, he was second choice to Chris Kirkland, who manager Brian Robson has signed on a loan from Liverpool. It is none other than Russell Holt.
Oh, no, never going to get that. Was never going to get that. What a wiki file that is. Russell Holt. Right, I will minimise this and look at the chat in YouTube, and we have two people that have correctly guessed Russell Holt.
Oh my
Unbelievable.
goodness. Russell Holt's brother and mother are listening. Hello, Russell Holt family.
Congratulations, Ross Jacobs and Alex McKeown, for both guessing Russell Holt correctly.
Russell Holt.
Unbelievable
Okay.
stuff.
Now, did they know this about him? Personal life. Holt, this is Wikipedia, so this is just, I'm not saying this is fact. Holt, a married man, has on a number of occasions been been the subject of public revelations concerning his sexual conduct. He was in 2000. He was fined £300 for curb crawling. He was also cleared of sending indecent letters to a 15-year-old girl. Nothing, there were no worse than saucy seaside postcards. And in January 2000, he was suspended from West Brom after footage of him involved in an orgy was leaked on the internet, allegedly of him wearing a club polo shirt. Who'd have thought Russell Holt would have it in him? I thought he was Mr. Vanilla, plain as plain. It's always the quiet ones, isn't it?
Um,
Always the quiet ones.
Unbelievable. Makes you think what James Milner gets up to at the weekend.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, with that injury, he's going to be out for a while. What's he going to get up to in that time?
Yeah,
Dirty
bloody hell.
Bertie.
Russell Holt. No, would never have got that. Great wiki file, Josh. Well done. Smashed it. Really good job. Honestly, forgot he existed.
Forgot he existed. Okay, so, well, that brings an end to this week's podcast. Although I feel like we should. Is it still a podcast if we're YouTube and live as our origin? I don't know. Is this.
I don't know, Josh.
Questions, when does a podcast not become a podcast anymore? Who knows? But if you would like to check out our previous back catalog, as mentioned earlier, we are available on Spotify, SoundCloud, and you can also check us all our videos on YouTube Live. It's only recent we've done the actual YouTube Live. You can see us. It previously has been behind the mask of
Editing.
images, editing, yes. But also, you can check us out on Twitter at Football Talk. But remember,
There's no A in football, sorry.
does Dave remember it or not? Who knows? But we'll be here next week, Sunday, 10 a.m. is our regular slot. We'll let you know slot if we can't make it. We'll let you know and we'll let you know the times. But until then, goodbye.
There we go. Done.
That was